this video, let's continue our study of text functions with the following problem that I came across at Microsoft. I think it was 1999. So an employee in Microsoft Finance had the following problem. They would get, let's say, 5,000 rows a week of data where three numbers were added up, separated by plus signs. The first number was sales on the East Coast, let's say. The second number was sales on the northern part of the country, and the third number was sales in the South. And their job was to split this up into three different columns. Now, some of you may know there's an easy way to do this called data text to columns, and we'll get to that in a couple of minutes, but I want to do this with Excel functions. Okay, so the key function we need to introduce you to here is the find function or the search function. So if I have the name Reggie, the find function finds a text string in a cell. So if I want to find an R and it's case sensitive, in that cell, beginning at the first character, it'll say 1 because the first capital R is number 1 there. Okay, now I'm going to do this formula text here to keep track of this stuff. Okay, now if I would say find a small r, it's going to give you a value error. We'll talk about how to handle error messages later in the course or videos. Okay, because it's case sensitive and there's no little r there. Okay, now the search function is not case sensitive. So find is case sensitive, search is not, as we'll see. Okay, so if I would say search, what are we searching for? That's the mystery of life. So I want to search for a small r. It's not case sensitive, and that works. Okay, so I could search for when I tried to find a little r, it wouldn't work. When I tried to search for a little r, it did work. Okay, so now let's get back to our problem. See, the key to this problem, if you're going to use Excel functions, and there's a good reason to use Excel functions that we'll learn about later when we understand how the table feature in Excel works, which is very powerful. Okay. The key here is the plus signs. If I can find the plus signs, the East Coast sales are what's to the left of the first plus sign. The North sales are what's between the first and second plus sign. The South sales are what are to the right of the second plus sign. So to find the plus signs, I can use the find function. So to find the first plus sign, I'd say find. Plus must be in quotes because it's text. You go to cell A3, start at the first character. That'll find the first plus sign. Now, how do you find the second plus sign? You start one character after the first plus sign. So you say find a plus sign, and you go to cell A3, you start one after the first plus sign. Because if you don't start one after the first plus sign, look what happens. You get back the same thing. So you've got to start one after the first plus sign, or you'll just repeat the first plus sign. Okay. Now, how do you find the East Coast sales? It's everything to the left of the first plus sign. So you use the left function, and how many characters do you need? One less than where the first plus sign is. So left cell A3, you go one less than where the first plus sign is. Okay. How do you get the north sales? That's the mid function. It's everything between the first and second plus sign. So you do mid A3, you start one after the first plus sign. How many characters do you need? The difference between the plus signs minus 1. See, here the plus sign, second plus sign is 7, the first is 3, the difference would be 4. But I don't want 4 characters. See, if you didn't put the minus 1 here, you should take the difference in the plus signs. If you don't have the minus 1, you will get the plus sign. So that's an easy adjustment. Just put the minus 1 there. Copy it down. So in other words, you go to A3, you start one character after the first plus sign, and then basically take the distance between the plus signs minus 1. Okay, now how do you get the last number? Use the right function. It's everything to the right of the second plus sign. So you'd say right, take the whole length of the cell minus where the second plus sign is. Okay. So the whole length of the cell is LEN. So you take right, and you go to the cell, and then you take whole length of the cell minus second plus sign. Copy it down, and you're done. Okay. Now, a much easier way to do this, although we'll see later the advantage of the functional approach that we're using here, something called text to columns. So data text to columns lets you split stuff up, add a plus sign, a space, a comma, etc. So if I would select this and I just want to parse it, I had somebody in the Army who so I'd say data text to columns saved with 3 hours a week. Data text to columns. Now we want delimited. Fixed width means break it up, let's say, every 5th character. So I would say the defaults are semicolon, comma, space. I would never uncheck the tab key. But other, put a plus sign. Now, see, it split it up. Now I say next. Where do I want to put this? Should put a blank part of the spreadsheet. Let's put it down here. And if I click finish, it splits it up. Now that was easy. You could teach that to your kid in kindergarten. That's really not very hard. Okay? But what's the downside of that? If I change the original data, it doesn't change down here. If I add new data, I have to do it again. So we'll see when we learn the table feature that if you set things up the way I've shown you here with the functions, you can add new data and it will automatically parse the data the way you want. Okay, but we learned here about the find function and we reviewed our other functions in this video, and so hopefully that will basically build our understanding of text functions, which we'll continue with for several more videos.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and there's a free course, a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, and all of these videos are coming from one of 3 books. So first, this one, which you can see here at the top of the screen, Microsoft's book, which has 355 reviews, and then it's, let's see, 4.6 stars. It's coming from this book as well, his marketing analytics book, which is down here, and you can sort of see 4.5, or his newest book, his analytics stories book, which is here. And with that one, you can see it's 4 point something, or maybe even 5. I don't think it's 5. Yeah, 4.8. And so, yeah, anyways, in the description, there's a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, or you can go to excelwithwayne.com/free, and it'll be there. But again, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just please let us know. Thanks.